Way 56 talks about the major types of chemical reactions. The first two, which we'll talk about, are called synthesis and decomposition. Synthesis involves when two reactants, A and B, come together to bond to form a singular substance or singular product that consists of A and B bonded together. A decomposition is where we take a reactant, AB, and somehow divide it up into its constituent parts, A and B. So keep this in mind when you are answering Regents questions involving synthesis and decomposition. Please note that these are chemical reactions, not physical reactions. So there is a reaction taking place, and the original substance is chemically different than the product. These are not physical reactions, such as a change of phase. Given the balanced equation representing a reaction, 6 lithium plus nitrogen yields 2 lithium nitride, which type of chemical reaction is represented by this equation? If we let A be Li and B be N, notice that the product AB consists of both Li and N bonded together. We know they're bonded because Li and N are written as one singular compound. Therefore, the answer is synthesis. Which type of chemical reaction do two or more reactants combine to form one product only? You should note that from this definition, two reactants combining to form a single product, that has to be synthesis. So answer choice 1 is correct. Given the unbalanced equation showing the reactants and products of a reaction occurring at 298 Kelvin and 100 kilopascals, phosphorus solid plus chlorine gas yields phosphorus trichloride plus energy. State why this reaction is a synthesis reaction. Looking at the previous problem, you should be able to write something like two elements are chemically combined to form a compound. You could also simply state that two reactants are forming only one product. Please note that the product in question here is PCl3. Yes, energy is a product, but the two elements are combining to form one product. Two substances react to form one substance, or two substances react to form a single compound. Any one of these answers is sufficient in getting full credit. Diethyl ether is used as a laboratory and industrial solvent. The boiling point of diethyl ether at standard pressure is 34.6 degrees Celsius. The equation below represents a reaction that produces diethyl ether. State why the reaction is classified as a synthesis reaction. Please note that here we are listing 3 reactants, but in this case, they're still all coming together to form a single product or single compound. Therefore, you should, in your response, indicate that the elements are combined together to form a compound. You could also say that all the reactants form one single product, or all 3 substances react to form one substance. I merely copied the previous answer, but the only difference is that instead of two different components, we have 3. So you can just simply write 3 compounds are coming together to form a single substance, or all the substances are reacting to form a single product. Which processes represent one chemical change and one physical change? You should know enough chemistry by now to note that synthesis and decompositions are examples of chemical changes or chemical reactions. So you merely have to spot the physical change. We can eliminate choice 1 and 2 because freezing, melting, freezing, and vaporization, they're all examples of phase changes. For example, freezing goes from liquid to solid, melting goes from solid to liquid. Vaporization is the conversion of a liquid to a gas. So it's between 3 and 4, and you should note that 3 is the correct answer because melting is an example of a physical change. Combustion, you'll learn, is the reaction of a substance with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water, which is an example of a chemical change. So choice 3 is correct. Given the word equation, sodium chlorate yields sodium chloride plus oxygen, which type of chemical reaction is represented by this equation? Here we have sodium chlorate producing two different products. And notice that the products are constituents of the reactants, meaning that the sodium chloride was originally a part of sodium chlorate, and the oxygen came from the chlorate molecule. You don't remember that chlorate contains oxygen? You can rely on table E, the polyatomic ions, to know that chlorate is actually ClO4 negative. So which type of chemical reaction is represented by this equation? It has to be choice 3, decomposition. Which type of reaction do two or more substances combine to produce a single substance? You should immediately note that this is a synthesis reaction, so choice 1 is correct. Which term identifies types of chemical reactions? The only answer choice that makes sense is choice 4. Choice 2, decomposition and synthesis. Please note that sublimation is a physical change. You're converting directly from a solid to a gas. Deposition is the opposite of sublimation. You're converting a gas into a solid. So both of these are examples of phase changes. And sublimation is a phase change because you're converting a solid to a gas. Almost got confused by that one. Okay, so when it comes to types of chemical reactions, please note that one of two major types is a synthesis, where you have two reactants converting into a single product. Decomposition is you have a reactant breaking down into its constituent parts. These are chemical reactions, not physical ones. Sometimes the regions will like to throw in physical changes, and they're usually the most common types of physical changes will include phase changes like sublimation, deposition, melting, freezing, etc. Hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for watching.